That you are here with us. Thank you so much for making from Pakistan until here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here. As you just heard, I'm an advisor to the UN Secretary General and a member of his high-level panel on women's economic empowerment. In addition to that, I convene a coalition called the Champions of Change Coalition in Pakistan, which is a coalition of private sector companies working on inclusive circular economies, inclusive growth, and sustainability. So there's a lot of actionable work that we've been doing in Pakistan, which I would be very happy to share with you, not just Pakistan, but regional, and bringing in the perspectives and the insights from the UN Secretary General's high-level panel. In addition to that, I was raising my hand on every question that Adriana was asking because I have the pleasure of working with governments, with private sector institutions, UN agencies, and civil society to bring diverse stakeholders together on various projects and initiatives pertaining to women's empowerment, climate change, and the nexus. Previously, I've been a practitioner leading 2 companies in this space as the CEO of an energy company and a woman enterprise company. And believe me, this nexus is critical to achieve any kind of transitioning, any kind of transformation. So as there's a lot of things that we can talk about, and I think this consultation will give us the opportunity for having more informal interactions. But I just kind of penned down all my learnings yesterday to share with all of you. And I strongly feel that as we're discussing these critical pathways for the global sustainability, and especially with the GCP, our focus must be to build a future that is not only sustainable, but also inclusive. And that's why mainstreaming and cross-cutting gender and women's empowerment issues across this transitioning and identifying opportunities for women in this transition will be extremely critical. Considering the fact that I represent the UN Secretary General's office and I advise them on these issues, I must put this out and out on the table that the UN Secretary General's perspective on the just transition is very, very clear, and how a socially just and equitable shift to sustainability and circularity for businesses is essential. So whenever we're going to be referring to this transition towards the green pathway, towards waste management, recycling, circularity, we have to just bring it back to our conscious knowledge again and again, how it's not achievable without involving women at every level, from the grassroots to the leadership, to the decision making, to the challenges. And then how do we achieve this, right? There's a role that the governments will have to play. There's a role that the businesses would have to play. We must adopt policies and frameworks that ensure fairness in labor markets, economic opportunities for all, environmental benefits, particularly for the vulnerable and marginalized communities. And again, whenever we talk about environmental degradation, we realize that the most targeted, where the climate injustice lies the most, is usually women and children. And that's why comes the dire need and importance of engaging them in the decision-making process and engaging them in this whole transitioning process throughout. In my personal opinion, I feel that the whole agenda of circular economy that I think we've all awakened up to must decouple economic growth from environmental degradation. In fact, I think they positively complement each other. We need to transition from the traditional linear take, make, dispose economy to a circular one that reduces waste and regenerates natural systems. And women, again, because of the extensive experience that I've had working with women at the policy level, at the action level, you realize how women have been lacking access to resources, to land, to clean energy, to raw materials, to trainings, to capacity building. We were just talking about that earlier as well. And that naturally transitions them out of this entire debate on circular economy or green economies, and without giving them access to achieving a key and central focus in this entire conversation. Women play a pivotal role as both those impacted by the challenges and as the rightful agents of change. With the learnings from the UN Secretary General's high-level panel on women's economic empowerment, women's role in agriculture, care work, informal economies, green economies must be recognized. And I say this being one of the first women in the energy sector, in the green energy sector in Pakistan. So I say this from personal experience, where I've been a woman, the only woman in a room of 100 men, and being asked the question that what is she doing in this room? So without having women in the room, without having women on the table, without having women in the green conversations and circular economy conversations, how will we ever enable that transition to happen for all? And that's the goal we're all working on, right? I wanted to make sure that I share maximum thoughts with you. So